October 29th, 1929, a day that would start the worst economic downturn in American history. Black Tuesday was the fateful Tuesday that turned the once prosperous world of American finance completely upside down. Millions of people's dreams were crushed when the stock market, which had once been a symbol of unending opportunity and prosperity, fell into a hole. This disastrous incident launched the Great Depression, a period of unheard of economic suffering that had an impact on the entire world.
Washington. Substantial gains, well known to all of you, have justified our course. I could cite statistics to show you as unanswerable measures of our national progress. Figures to show the gain in the average weekly pay envelope of workers in the great majority of our industries. Figures to show hundreds of thousands of people reemployed in private industries and other hundreds of thousands given new employment through the expansion of direct and indirect government assistance of various kinds.
However, an attitude of inventiveness and resilience surfaced in the face of hardship. The goal of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's ambitious policies, known as the New Deal, was to rebuild the country and install hope once again. These initiatives, which range from social security systems to public work projects, aimed to offer relief, recovery, and reform while establishing the groundwork for a more strong and just society.
There were wild speculations in all kinds of securities, movie company stocks, aeronautical stocks, all the auto company stocks.
October 29, 1929, Black Tuesday, the stock market crashed. Billions of dollars vanished into thin air. Fortunes were lost in a matter of hours, leaving investors devastated. The immediate impact was devastating. Banks collapsed, unable to recover the loans they had issued during the boom. Businesses shuttered their doors, unable to pay their debts. Unemployment skyrocketed. For many, the crash was the beginning of a long descent into hardship. As the financial system crumbled, the economy entered a downward spiral. Consumer spending plummeted and industrial output ground to a halt. As the 1930s dawned, the nation plunged deeper into the Great Depression. By 1933, nearly 1 in 4 Americans was out of work. Desperation became a way of life. Cities and towns saw a rise in homelessness and hunger. The urban poor queued for hours in bread lines and soup kitchens, hoping for a meal. In the heartland, the Dust Bowl compounded the misery. Severe drought and poor farming practices turned fertile soil to dust, displacing thousands of farming families. They migrated west in search of work, becoming known as Okies. These migrant families faced harsh conditions and discrimination, struggling to survive in their new environment. In 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt took office and promised a new deal for the American people. His administration launched ambitious programs to provide relief, recovery, and reform. Roosevelt's New Deal aimed to restore hope and rebuild the economy. Programs like the Civilian Conservation Corps and the Tennessee Valley Authority put Americans back to work, while Social Security offered a safety net for the elderly. The Works Program Administration built infrastructure, providing jobs and improving communities. The Agricultural Adjustment Act sought to stabilize crop prices and support struggling farmers. Despite these efforts, recovery was slow. The resilience and determination of the American people were tested daily. Communities banded together, supporting each other through unprecedented hardship. The road to recovery was long and arduous. The Great Depression left an indelible mark on the nation, reshaping its economic policies and social fabric. Yet, through resilience and determination, America emerged stronger with lessons that continue to resonate today.
This catastrophic economic downturn, which began in 1929, left a mark on the global economy and the lives of millions. Yet through a combination of innovative policies, determined leadership, and collective resilience, the world fought hard and emerged from this dark time. Let's explore how the Great Depression was ultimately fixed. One of the most pivotal responses came from the United States under the leadership of Franklin D. Roosevelt. In 1933, Roosevelt introduced the New Deal, a series of programs and policies to promote economic recovery and social reform. The New Deal aimed to address the people's immediate needs while laying the foundation for long-term stability. The New Deal focused on 3 key areas: relief, recovery, and reform. Relief was targeted at providing immediate support to the unemployed and those in dire need. Programs like the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, and the WPA, the Works Progress Administration, created millions of jobs, rebuilding infrastructure and restoring dignity to countless families. Recovery efforts were aimed at reviving the economy. The AAA, the Agricultural Adjustment Act, sought to boost agricultural prices by reducing surpluses, while the NIRA, the National Industrial Recovery Act, worked to stimulate industrial growth and improve labor conditions. These measures helped restore confidence and increase economic activity by stabilizing key sectors. Reform was about ensuring that such a collapse would never happen again. The establishment of Securities and Exchange Commission and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation brought much-needed oversight and protection to financial markets and the banking sector. These reforms restored trust in the financial system, encouraging investment and saving. Moreover, the Social Security Act of 1935 laid the groundwork for a safety net for the elderly, the unemployed, and the disabled, demonstrating a commitment to protecting the most vulnerable members of society. This act did not only prove immediate assistance but also instilled a sense of security that allowed people to spend and invest knowing they had a safety net. Internationally, the Great Depression required cooperation and new approaches to global trade and finance. Countries abandoned the golden standard, which had constrained monetary policy, and embraced more flexible exchange rates. This shift allowed governments to implement fiscal and monetary policies tailored to their specific economic conditions. The end of the Great Depression was further accelerated by the economic demands of World War II. The war effort required massive production and labor mobilization, effectively ending unemployment and reviving industries. While war is never a desirable means to economic recovery, the industrial and technological advancements made during this period had lasting positive effects on the global economy. In conclusion, the Great Depression was fixed through a combination of innovative and courageous policy measures, both domestically and internationally. The New Deal's relief, recovery, and reform programs were critical in restoring confidence, creating jobs, and safeguarding the financial system. The lessons learned during this period led to the establishment of mechanisms that continue to protect and stabilize our economies today. As we reflect on this history, let us remember the resilience and determination that guided the world through one of its darkest times. May it inspire us to face our present and future challenges with the same spirit of innovation, cooperation, and unwavering commitment to the common good.
Lost their jobs. But when I was in school, so many of the people in school lived on farms. And of course the farmer was affected by it just like everybody else because his products fell in price and people were not able to buy the products then. One of the cash products that the farmer raised back then was tobacco. It sold for 10 cents a pound.
All in all, the Great Depression and the stock market crash proved to be significant in the development of America. There has not been a country that succeeded without hardships. These hardships proved to show America's never give up attitude. It showed the flaws in the stock market and how they can build on it. The Security Acts of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 established a Securities and Exchange Commission to oversee and regulate the stock market. The Great Depression fundamentally altered public attitude towards the role of government and the economy. There is a greater acceptance of government intervention in the economy and a recognition of the need for a safety net to protect the most vulnerable in society. The Dust Bowl, a severe drought that devastated the Great Plains, forced many rural families to migrate to urban areas in search of work. This migration altered the demographic landscape of the country and accelerated urbanization. Nevertheless, people suffered during this time, and although the issue was resolved, many lost their lives because of it.